Hey guys, welcome back to the Collective Movements. Today we're going to be working on our B twists and nope, we're gonna be working on a dash actually. What are you doing? Sorry, I got my dog with me. Ooh, where's he at? There he is. Getting over, pushing your, yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to the Collective Movements. Today we are going to be working on our dash vault. And I'm gonna be giving you all of the tips and tricks on how to do that coming up in just a minute. But first, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure you comment about anything that you would like to see in the future videos. So to start with our dash vault, you should know how to do a stride, which is a running 1 foot takeoff with a 2 foot landing. You should know how to do a lazy vault, which if you don't know how to do that, I will leave a link right there. Those are basically the two prerequisites to learning how to do a dash vault. Now a dash vault is pretty different because you don't actually go hands first like basically any of your other vaults. You know, you don't go face first, you don't go hands first, you actually go feet totally in front of you. So this is one of a very unique vault. It's one that you're actually in the air, not touching anything at any one point in time while leaning back. Like it's a very unique vault. So it can be a little scary and it can hurt if you do it wrong. So to start, you don't want to jump really high. You want to keep it just high enough so you're over the block, maybe a few inches over the block, but you don't want to keep it too high. If you go too high, it's going to jar your wrists, your shoulders, your elbows, and because it's going to be messing up your shoulders, it's also probably going to mess up your neck just a little bit. And all of that hurts. So don't do that. So to start, we're going to start by running. We're going to take a run. We're going to, this is where a stride comes in handy. You're going to jump off of 1 foot. And from that 1 foot, you're gonna lean your chest back just a little bit. Your feet are gonna go, both of your feet are gonna go over the block or table or bench or whatever it happens to be that you're doing it on. Your feet are gonna go over that. Your hands are going to touch down on whatever you just jumped over, close to your butt, possibly underneath your butt. From there, you're going to squeeze your belly button, squeeze your butt, push your hands down onto the thing that you just jumped over and squeeze your belly button up into the air. When you're coming down, you don't necessarily want to arch, but you want to make sure that you're not hitting anything like your back. So make sure your butt is coming away from there. For landing, you can either land a 1 foot or 2 feet. Depending on if you want to do certain things out of it. For some quick tips and drills, you don't want to jump too close to whatever it is that you are doing your dash over. As you get too close, hi buddy. As you jump over, you could possibly hit. So you want to make sure you're far enough away that your feet can actually come up and through without hitting the block, obviously. So your fingers should be facing forward when you land. You don't want to turn your fingers backwards or anything because then you have nothing to squeeze with your fingers and then you can't push off of the block. Makes it a little bit more difficult. And that's the basis of how to do a dash. The common mistakes that we're going to be going into, putting one hand down is the first common mistake. Now this comes from learning your lazy vault first. A lazy vault is a good prerequisite. I do recommend learning it first, even though it does build a little bit of bad habits, but it's okay, because it kind of builds confidence to be able to start getting your feet to go forward first, which is ideal. The way you would want to fix this is with a super simple drill, which is where we're going to be jumping up onto the table, landing on 1 foot, putting both of our hands down, and then doing a seated dash off. Easy enough. The second common mistake is not being able to get your feet to go over the block. Now this is a mental thing and a physical thing. It is a physical thing because you may not be strong enough to just get over the block, which is fine. Find a lower block. Don't stress out over it. If you can't do it, just find a lower block and get used to the movement. And as you build up to get stronger and stronger, you can go up to get a higher and higher block. No big deal. The third common mistake kind of ties into the second one, but this one is really more of a mental part. It's just not being able to commit to getting both of your feet over first and leaning back. So we're gonna be jumping up, landing on our feet with our feet first and dashing down. Now the way that this ties into actually learning a proper dash is that time that you spend on the bench or on the block or on whatever it happens to be that you are doing your dash on starts at a full stop and a dash down, and then gradually becomes just a quick touch and a quick touch and dash down, and then it goes to 1 foot and a quick touch and dash down. And then at that point, you're pretty much doing the whole thing. Just squeeze your feet over to the other side. And that's the idea behind that drill. Now there is another way that we can learn this, which is where you jump and literally just sit, plop, straight on whatever it is that you're doing it on, which is fine if you're inside a gym, but thanks to the coronavirus, we don't have gyms or mats. So I don't recommend just jumping and plopping on your butt because it's gonna hurt, so don't do it. The fourth common mistake, like I already said, is jumping too close to the block. You wanna be a good enough distance. Now this is gonna be different for everyone, and it's gonna vary depending on how fast you're running and how tall your object is and how strong you are. So it's gonna be a little different for everybody. A good way to mark it is with a towel. So you would take your towel and you would set it down to where you think you need to jump and get used to that spot. And then you would pull it a little bit further and push a little bit closer, depending on what you need. And I think that is a great way to figure out your distance for jumping. The fifth common mistake also comes from being a little bit scared, is jumping with your hands first. This is tied into the third common mistake where you're not committing to the whole vault. So take it back to that first drill. That first drill is huge because I dig it a lot and I use it all the time and it works. Ideas with this is to connect different vaults into it and out of it. A very common one is a dash to a Kong, or a Kong to a dash. So connect what you have and send us your videos. Send us your videos to our Instagram, which is @thecollectivemovements, and we're happy to help. Okay. Good boy. Good boy. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Who's a happy boy? You're a happy boy.